During the Vietnam War, the army had a chemical in their hands, which they sprayed on the wounds of the wounded, and their bleeding would stop immediately. Then, no matter how deep the wound is. This chemical saved the lives of thousands of people, and you will be surprised to know that this chemical is found in every house today. Viewers, there are many things that are used in daily life which were not invented for any purpose but by mistake. First of all, let's take a look at Coca-Cola. Who knew that once the sword would leave the world's most famous soft drink? Yes, this is about the year 1865, when Dr. Pemberton, who was also given the rank of lieutenant colonel by the American Army, had a sword wound on his chest during the Battle of Columbus. This wound was so painful that Dr. Pemberton started using morphine. This is an addictive drug that was only used at the time when no medicine was working. That wound healed, but another problem arose. He was now addicted to morphine and he wanted to get rid of it. At that time, alcohol and cocaine were not considered bad and anyone could buy it and use it. He made a medicine for himself, in which he added the juice of cola nuts and damiana, and a mixture of cocaine and alcohol on top of it. It also worked as a painkiller, along with an alcoholic drink, which was named Pemberton's French wine coca. That is, he had adopted another habit to leave one habit. About 20 years later, there was an anti-alcoholism campaign in 1886, in which a law was passed against alcohol and cocaine. The owner of the local pharmacy told Pemberton that he would now have to remove alcohol and cocaine from his French wine coca. For this purpose, Dr. Pemberton did some experiments in which he made a syrup from a mixture of only cola nuts and coca leaves. He would do various experiments and get the pharmacy store owner tested, but by mistake, he also added carbonated water to the syrup in one experiment. The pharmacy owner liked it so much that he advised him to sell it not as a headache, but as a refreshing drink. Now, because this drink was made by mixing cola and coca leaves, it was sold as a refreshing drink by giving it the name of Coca-Cola. The world's first Coca-Cola was sold for only 5 cents, and Pemberton knew that one day this national drink would definitely be made. Because of his illness and bankruptcy, he sold his drink formula to the famous business tycoon Asa Grieg-Skander for only $238. Today, the market value of Coca-Cola is $260 billion. Do you know that during the Vietnam War, there was a chemical that saved the lives of thousands of wounded soldiers? As a first aid, doctors would spray this chemical on the wounds of the soldiers, which would immediately dry the wounds and stop the bleeding. This chemical was none other than superglue, which is present in every house today. And the most interesting thing is that superglue was also invented by mistake. During World War II, the biggest problem for the soldiers was that when they fired with their guns, the target did not hit the right place. To solve this problem, the US Army needed a target that was made of completely clean plastic so that everything could be seen easily through it. To make this clear plastic, a team of chemical engineers was hired, including Dr. Harry Coover. In the process of making clear plastic, they made a chemical that was more adhesive than necessary. This chemical, called cyanoacrylate, could not be used to target guns. After 9 years, in 1951, Dr. Harry Coover was working in the Kodak company when some experiments were being done to make the canopy of the jet engine, i.e. its cover. On this occasion, Dr. Harry Coover once again introduced cyanoacrylate in front of him. But this time too, this chemical was rejected due to being excessively adhesive. Coincidentally, at that time, the refractometer of another chemist at Kodak was broken. Then Dr. Harry Coover got the idea that he already had a solution for it, and it was none other than cyanoacrylate. With the help of this chemical, he added his expensive refractometer in seconds. This was the time when Dr. Harry Coover realized that his chemical adds things together forever in a very short time, and there is no need for any heat or force in this. In 1958, Kodak started selling this chemical under the name of Eastman 910, which was later named superglue. Along with adding things together, superglue was also used to record fingerprints in forensic investigations. When superglue is heated, Its fumes react with the invisible fingerprints. And when superglue dries and hardens in Mentos, fingerprints were printed on it. Along with all these uses, superglue has also been used as a first aid to stop bleeding in cuts. But never try this method at home. Check blood pressure, tighten children's shoes, or wrap the wire of the mobile laptop charger and keep it closed. Hook and loop tape is used in every home, which is often also called Velcro. But did you know that the idea of its invention was on such an occasion when in 1941, George de Mestral, an electrical engineer, went hiking with his dog on the mountains of the Alps. During the walk, the seeds of the burdock plant were sticking to his socks, clothes, and his dog again and again. He noticed that the burdock sticks to his clothes just by a slight touch. He took some seeds home with him, where he saw them with a microscope. It turned out that the tip of the thorns of this seed is made like a hook, which easily gets stuck in the small loops on the clothes. This plant is naturally made in such a way that it spreads its seeds through nearby animals. George de Mestral was quite surprised by this method. He wanted to make something useful by using this method. So he published his invention in 1955 and got it registered in his name. Hook and loop tape comes in two parts. One has only hooks and the other has nylon loops. As soon as they touch each other, they stick to each other just like burdock seeds stick to clothes. Today, Velcro is made in 7 countries and about 2,500 employees work in this company. Before World War II, coal was used instead of a heater in houses, but because of this, a layer of black smoke would stick to the whole house. That's when Play-Doh was invented, which was used to remove the blackness. But after World War II, natural gas began to be used as a heater. The invention of Noah and Joseph's Play-Doh was no longer useful. But a few years later, in the 1950s, Joseph saw that his sister, who was a school teacher, was giving this Play-Doh to her students to make models of different things. From there, he got an idea and got it registered by the Rainbow Crafts Company and started selling it for children's play. In addition to pacemakers and penicillin, the invention of blood thinners was also a coincidence in the medical industry. This was in the 1920s when a strange disease was noticed in animals. In this disease, they began to have internal bleeding, which killed even the tough animals. Research found that their blood has become very thin due to eating a special fungus that settles on the grass. When that fungus was understood in detail, a special chemical was found in it, which actually made their blood very thin. This chemical was later named warfarin, but before it was given to heart attack and stroke patients, it was used as a medicine to kill rats for the next 30 years. After the 1950s, warfarin was also decided to be used on humans. The first patients to use this life-saving medicine were US President Dwight D. Eisenhower. He had a heart attack in 1955, and his life was saved by the use of warfarin. Ever since humans have learned to light a fire, they have always tried to make this process easier. Lighting a fire before a match used to be a very difficult task. If someone rubbed a stone and set it on fire, someone would put a stick of wood on another stick and run it like a drill. In 1827, a British pharmacist, John Walker, was experimenting with some chemicals. The stick with which he was mixing the chemicals, he accidentally placed it next to the bonfire in his room. Suddenly, the chemical on the stick caught fire. After this, he got the idea of making matchsticks. This chemical was a mixture of potassium chlorate and antimony sulfide. John Walker's invention was so successful that since then matches have been lit in every house. But John Walker did not get his invention patented. People copied his formula and started making new versions of matches. In 1859, when he died, he was considered the inventor of matchsticks. I hope you will like and share this video. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.